Hey guys, so it's 3:37 p.m. on February 27th, and I just finished the rewrite for It Starts With Goodbye. Today was actually the first time that I've worked on it in 2 or 3 days because I have a hard time forcing myself to sit down and do it. But today when I woke up, I was like, okay, I have my coffee, I have a smoothie, we're going to sit down, we're going to work on it until it's done. Because I did want to get it done before the end of this month so that way I could edit it during Camp Nano after having a break. So, I ended up with 41,250 words for the first rewrite. I haven't actually added any scenes like here. Hold on. My little sticky note thingy says that I have added them, but most of those were like, oh, I didn't like the original scene that was here, so I added a whole bunch of words to it, and it ended up being that I added more than I kept in, so I counted it as a new scene. But in reality, I'll go through and see which ones are actually new scenes based on intros and the endings to each scene, so on and so forth. But I did end up removing 2 different chapters, chapter 24 and chapter 34. And then in the chapters that followed, I literally just referenced what was in those previous chapters because they were basically nothing anyway. So I do have a whole bunch of scenes that I plan to add. I only jotted some of them down because I want to read through the book, see where others need to be, so on and so forth. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I currently have 10 scenes that I plan on adding into the book during the first edit. I'm also combining, during the first edit, chapters 9 and 10. Besides that, I don't have a lot of notes, just just a lot of writing. But I did end up changing the ending. So, like, everything in that chapter is still the same. There's still the same kind of dialogue, details, whatever. I've just added more descriptions to it. But the ending itself is now different. It used to end with just, like, how I end some of my chapters, which is a basic I love you. Which is, you know, me being a loser. And not a good way to end this specific book. I'm sure there are books you could end that way, but not this one. So, there is a series that follows the Ashley Jones trilogy, and that's the Paranormal Detective series. And because I wasn't sure I wanted to publish it, I ended up going back into books 1 and 2 while I was editing them, and added scenes that would reference some things that were revealed in the Paranormal Detective series. Specifically, the God-driven plot of the Paranormal Detective series. That God-driven plot is the main reason I don't think I'll ever publish that, because I know that more or less some people would be offended, some people would accept that it was fiction and isn't meant to offend people. I've even had to explain that to some of the people who have read the Paranormal Detective series. But I've gone back through books 1 and 2 to add scenes to reference the God-driven plot that happens in the Paranormal Detective series. I've made notes of scenes that I will be adding to book 3 eventually, that will also reference that same plot. But the God-driven plot is very, very important in the Paranormal Detective series, and to reference that, and in case I ever publish the Paranormal Detective series, it leaves it open to that, I ended it with, "You've helped so many people, one day if he wants, Kyle can do the same. That's not a curse, that's a damn godsend." Because the God-driven plot. And although I don't want to spoil anything that happens in the Paranormal Detective series or any of that, it's very I don't know how to word it. It's very important to the Paranormal Detective series, and once you've read the Paranormal Detective series and go back through the trilogy and read all of the references to God and this being a godsend, and it felt like a godsend, it's very obvious in there. But it's not like something that clicks in your head until you read the scenes that I've added to the new books, and it's not very obvious, and it doesn't click in your head until you've read the Paranormal Detective series. But it's there, it's important, and I'm actually super, super excited. And I haven't been super excited about this series since the first day that I started the rewrite, and then after that the excitement kind of fell off the deep end. But now the excitement is back, and I'm very, very happy to have the rewrite done, and very, very excited to continue on the journey to self-publish this one. So, the goal now is to set the book aside for a month. So that way I have time to forget about it, forget about everything that happens in it, and then come back fresh in April on the 1st, presumably, during Camp Nano, and start the first edit of the book. You want to put it aside for as long as you can, anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks, usually. That's preferred for me, because when you come back, more or less, you have a fresh set of eyes to look at the document with. If I started editing, say, tomorrow, I would, in my brain, remember all of the words that were supposed to be written there originally. Like right now, while I'm staring at my screen, I can see a mistake. It says, "That's a curse." It should say, "That's not a curse." But I'm not going to correct it because my brain keeps filling it in every time I read it. I'm only noticing it like half of the time. But I'm going to fix that during the first edit. And because I've waited the full 4 weeks, I'll have an easier time picking out some of those mistakes. So, that's all I have for today, and then I will see you guys in another video for this series in April when I begin the first edit of this book. Until then, I don't know. I'm going to go work on my other books and try to finish things up before Camp Nano. But either way, I will see you guys in April. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.